Hello and welcome to another episode of the Microsoft Spotlight podcast. Today I'm joined by John Jarvis and Amanda Sterner. So John, how you been doing today?
Yeah, not bad. So today is the 2nd of September. So people listening, I think it's going to be a couple of weeks' time, but we've just had quite a lot of good news, haven't we, about the South Coast Summit. We are both going to be speaking at a roundtable for women in tech, and the Microsoft Spotlight podcast will be hosting that once again, 2 years in a row. Sounds good, doesn't it?
It does. And so obviously we've got some very good guests on the panelists. We've got Nikki Chappell, who's also been on this podcast. We've got Pete Rising from Cloud Conversations. Angelica, I'm not even going to try and pronounce her surname from Advania. I haven't got that far yet to work that one out. And also Ali Turnbull from Microsoft. So it's going to be a very good conversation. Just try and drag as many people as possible to the session, so we can have that engaging conversation as always.
I think with those names, and I think we'll probably draft in a couple of others as well. I think it will be a good session.
We'll drag Donna. Don't mean Donna's there. We'll drag Donna along. I'm sure she'll get through.
So if you're listening to the podcast now, come and listen to us. I can't remember what room we're in, but we'll figure it out as we go along. But anyway, let's change our focus from us and the South Coast Summit to our guest today. Our guest today is Amanda Sterner.
Yeah, it's always a struggle to pronunciate last names from other countries. So Amanda Sterner, that's how I would say it in Swedish. But yeah, probably Sterner. I think that's how I would say it for other people.
That's how it reads to me.
I tried to put on like a fake accent there to try and make it sound better, and I hope I didn't. I don't butcher it as much as Andrew normally does. So yeah. So Amanda, we won't say so much in this. Give us a little background on yourself. I know you're over in the Nordics, and just give us a bit of a background about yourself, what you do, and currently what you're up to.
Yeah, so Amanda, like I said, and I'm from lovely Stockholm, Sweden. And I actually had to look at LinkedIn before we started this podcast to see what my role is, because I recently changed jobs, and I don't think roles are that important there. So that's really nice. I started working in at an American big firm at Advania, and they're like the roles super serious. But here I'm just like a happy consultant doing Microsoft Teams, Microsoft 365, like everything that's connected to that, but not code. I'm not a developer, and I'm not a citizen developer either. So I'm more of a everything else.
I think that describes me pretty well as well, to be honest.
I mean, I like to try everything. I rather try and fail than not try and, not fail or succeed.
100%.
Yeah.
So tell us a bit about your company at the moment. Is it this really confusing me because it said Advania one sec and then Advania on another, and I'm getting well confused.
I actually, I worked at Advania and Avega, and now it's Advania. So apparently I like companies with an A in it. But so Advania, that's a consultancy firm that started in, I think, Iceland, but we're biggest in Sweden. But we have this little group called Knowledge Factory, where we are, I think we're actually six or seven MVPs, where they like MVPs. So we're a close group of people loving doing community work. I have a lot of colleagues that loves talking at conferences and doing all these kind of fun things. But most of them are more like Azure and infrastructure and PowerShell, and that's not me. So Simon Ågren, that's another Swedish MVP, he said to me, Amanda, you should join us. We're starting a new group working with modern work. And I said, yes, I want to join you. And so that's us.
That's what you're doing.
That's what I'm doing. And and I just started working in March. I've been on maternity leave, so I'm still like trying to get my things around how to work and everything. And I mean, it's been 6 months now, but when you're offline for almost a year,
Yeah.
It takes some time, I think.
So let's talk about that and delve into that a little bit more, because one of our previous guests, Carolina
Katakari.
Katakari.
Yeah.
That's her Katakari. So I didn't know. Actually said that you are one of her role models, in fact, for being a mother in tech and everything around that space. I think it's a really good topic for us to kind of broach on today. So I don't know if you knew she said that you're a role model of hers, but that's pretty nice, isn't it?
That makes me really happy. I mean, Carolina is one of my closest community friends, and we like to do things together. So we're talking at the European SharePoint conference in Copenhagen together. That will be very fun, and we've done a lot of different things together. So it's always fun to have
That's
a
awesome.
good buddy.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all have a few of them, a few buddies in a community, and yeah, it's good to uplift each other and help each other out as well.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the maternity. So obviously you went on maternity, had a baby. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's tough work. I think it's the hardest job in the world, but it's the most rewarding. But
yeah.
So talk about maternity leave. So like, how did you disengage completely from the tech world? Was you still kind of dabbling in, looking in the community, up blogs, etc., or was it a complete cutaway?
It was not a complete like turn off. That's probably not how you say it. I was not offline. I were yellow. No, but to be serious,
you don't do not disturb. That's what it was.
Yeah, that's the correct word. No, I didn't blog a lot, and I did a few conference sessions here and there. I mean, it was during Corona, so it's pretty easy to be at home in my little office. But I have a conference. That sounds so weird to say, but I have a conference here in Sweden with a couple of community friends called Teamsdagen. So it's Teams Day in English, and that takes a lot of planning and doing things. So that's what I did. I looked at Twitter and I saw that what's going on. Maybe I looked at Ignite and a few sessions and then conference planning. So let's say capacity, I don't know, 85% community capacity from normal. But I think that's pretty perfect. I hear a lot of people saying that they're bored of being at home. I mean, I was not bored. I loved watching TV. We were sitting in the sofa for like all the day watching TV, and
I mean, watching Peppa Pig.
No, I watched TV. He was sleeping and like snuggly, so I watched adult TV. I watched no Peppa Pig. We're not there yet, but I think I would have been bored to be completely offline. I really think so. But but I think community work and doing these things, it's both. I mean, it's fun. I do it because I love it, and I like to engage with all of my friends, and it's on my terms. So it's not somebody telling me that I have to do this and that.
So would you say that
the maternity? I've got a question. What's the maternity structure like in Sweden? Obviously, I know in the UK, obviously women can have minimum of 9 months up to a year. In the US, it's very strict, and they only get like a couple of weeks or months, depending on what state they live in. So what's it like in Sweden?
Yeah, and for me and my husband, it's been super important to be equal, to both be good role models, both of us, and I don't know, for the money's sake, for the pension and things like that. So we've been taken almost a year each. So he's still home with our baby, who's not a baby, but 11 months for me and 11 months for him. And I mean, it's a complete luxury that we can afford it and that we can do it from our work. So I'm really grateful to live in Sweden. And yeah.
Awesome. And obviously, it's good to have a supportive employer as well, and obviously a supportive partner. And now,
Yeah.
obviously, then bounce off each other, and then you can still do your work, and he can do his.
Yeah, and he works with IT as well, so we're often joking about that our son, he has to work with Microsoft products, otherwise he can do whatever he wants in life. So
Just get him learning it. Get him his MCP early. I think 9 years old, the first MCP. Is it the little lad in the UK?
Yeah, there's some youngsters about that do it.
That's the goal. Get him in as early as possible.
Yep. That's the goal with having children. No, but
so would you say that the community work kind of helps you like stay in touch with tech? Because did it?
Definitely. God, I mean, like I said, I still feel a little bit, I don't know, scrambled in my head. It's I'm not completely back yet, getting slow in there, and without the community work, gosh, I don't know. I'm really impressed with people getting back from their maternity and paternity leave and just snap into it directly, because that's not on top of mind. Like Viva, I'm still trying to understand what Viva is, and I'm like, okay, now I'm so way back that I'm just trying to understand it. Everybody's talking about it, and I know it's the new cool thing, and maybe it's not new anymore, but yeah. So without that, I would be totally lost.
And obviously, some of the Viva stuff was already there in the the M365 product. It's obviously been rebadged and obviously improved.
I know, but it came like, I don't know, 2 weeks before he got born, so just in the completely wrong time. But yeah, I know they just rebanded a few things, but still, I feel I feel lost. But soon.
Viva Learning is quite easy around. Just it's just a tab in Teams and adding the LinkedIn stuff and all the other stuff on like rural site or whatever. So, but yeah. So I've got a question for you then. So we'll go back to the very beginning of your IT career. What were the opportunities like in Sweden to get into IT? What pulled you into the world of tech?
Yeah, and when did I start working? It was 2014, I think, so 8 years. And it feels like it was, I don't know, easier then to get up in tech, but maybe it's super easy now. I'm just too old to know what's going on. But I started at the trainee program at Advania, and that was a perfect start for me. I knew that I wanted to work in tech, and being a trainee just made it possible for me to try different things and have a group of other trainees that we did fun things together. So I really liked that. And if we go back even further, I mean, IT was never on my agenda. I never planned to work in IT. In school, I took media author, I think. It was like I wanted to be a journalist. I wanted to write for magazines, and so I didn't read any math at all. I think I had like one course. So when I wanted to go to university, I couldn't take any IT programs because you needed to have at least 2 or 3 courses of math, and I didn't have that. So I actually read like the only program at Stockholm University that had like 50% IT and 50%, I think it was marketing, because yeah, girls like marketing, right? So it was never a plan to do what I do today, and but I really enjoy it. And of course, I started because my husband, he worked with IT, and his first year he got to work from home, and I thought, I want to work from home. I want to work in my pajamas. So I'm going to study that. So that was like the original idea, really stupid. he was playing PlayStation during the lunch break, and I thought, yeah, I could do that. I can also be home and like in game during breaks and things. And yeah, really stupid when you look back at it, but I'm really happy that
No, it's a good reason, like the flexibility and stuff that comes with working from home, and IT in general, I think is, you know, it's appealing, to be fair, isn't it? And
yeah.
I can understand why. I mean,
And obviously the way COVID's been as well, you know, forcing people to work from home remotely,
Yeah.
you know, to go on maternity leave and transitioning back working from home, you can still do your role as a mother as well as, you know, your role within your organisation.
Yeah, definitely. It's really nice now to be able to work from home when he's not at kindergarten. So sometimes he sits in my laps during meetings and stares angry at the screen.
So talk to us about your journey into the community. Like, let's go straight back to the beginning. What attracted you to actually start going to like maybe user groups and actually start to partake in the Microsoft community?
So when I worked at Advania, I had after I think 6 months, a new guy started, Victor William, and he was SharePoint MVP. Now he works at Microsoft, and he was such a great person. He was the kind of guy, or probably still is, I would presume, that was super duper busy, but he always had time to help other people. And that, for me as a junior person, like not know anything, that was exactly what I needed. He was so friendly and helpful, and that really inspired me. But at that moment, I was like, yeah, I could write blogs and I can talk at conferences, but here we have SharePoint. It's an old product. There's people working with it since forever. What have I to say? Like, I don't know this. And but something grew a seed. Like I wanna help people. And then Microsoft Teams came, and I saw a golden opportunity. It's a new product. Everybody's fresh, and nobody has like the baggage. And so that's when I decided to start blogging, and that was in 2019. Or 2018. No, I think it was in 2019. So yeah, I just needed a new product without a lot of people knowing too much, because I don't know, it's really easy to have the imposter syndrome. And even though I know today that new people can always bring additional value, it was really hard to see that at the moment. That
So talk to
I
us
could
about the
say
imposter
something
syndrome.
more.
Yeah, do you want to go into the imposter syndrome a bit more? Kind of like what helped you get over it, and what made you kind of just drive through and just keep creating new content?
I don't know. Maybe a really good confidence. No, but I'm just thinking, fuck it, let's do it, and either it works out or it don't. And sometimes I actually joke that I say that I'm a man inside. I don't care about what people think. Sorry, I don't mean all guys are like that, but of course I get imposter syndrome and doubt myself. But now I'm more like, I don't care, whatever. I'm gonna do it, and either way it flies or it doesn't. And then I tried.
So you was awarded your MVP in 2020. So
Yeah.
Yeah. So up to that point, you've been doing blogs, and had you done your events at this stage?
No. We had our first event in March 2020. So when we started to plan it, I hadn't got the award, but when the event was live, I had it. So it was I mean, I think the beauty of the community is that everybody's so helpful and everybody wants to grow. So I started with my blog, and from that, I started talking with Morten Hellbro, who is a Swedish Teams MVP, and he was the first one in Sweden. And he helped me in the beginning, and he was like, yeah, Amanda, we're gonna be at this conference and we have this user group, so you should join us, you should talk. And without him, I probably wouldn't be in here today. So it's really nice. And then he said one day, I want to start a new conference, you should be part of the group. And I said, yes, of course I should be. Of course we should start a conference.
Awesome. So you've done that, and you've done obviously really well. So you've been renewed 3 times now. Oh
yeah, you can see here
no,
my
renewed yeah, so renewed 2 times. So you've had it once and then renewed twice.
Yeah, and it was not the fake renewal, but I mean everybody got renewed due to COVID, which was really nice because I mean it's been harsh, but this July that was the first real one. I was nervous, but I mean, I mean that's not the. Of course, it's nice to have the award, and I really want to go to the MVP summit, but it's not like I would just stop doing everything if I didn't got renewed.
Yeah, sure. So talk to us about the MVP kind of award itself then. So like, do you think it's helps you open up any more doors? Does it help you break down any more barriers? Kind of what has it enabled you to do that maybe you wouldn't have to do previously?
I mean, I probably think it's like I don't know, a approved seal. It's still me, but now I have like the award. So if I'm not, sometimes I'm not very like political, as in I often speak my mind at the customers and I say you should do this and not that, and I don't play the political game. And now it feels like, okay, you know, I'm an MVP, so you can trust me, even though I'm like very firm and straight to point sometimes. So, and during work, I mean, of course, I guess it helped, but it's so hard to think about it. Like, if I hadn't had it, then maybe Simon hadn't had know who I am, and then he never talked to me and asked if I want to join. So like it's the network thing, and I mean you can have a network without the word. So as long as you're out there talking, and I have people in my network that I think about are good people and talented and know what they're doing, and without having the word. So it's nice. It's a nice have, not a must have.
So
it is like a badge of honour. You know, I mean, obviously, I've been an MVP. It is nice to obviously have that recognition for the hard work that you put in. So I got awarded from running my own conference as well, so I know exactly where you're coming from that perspective. Yeah. And it's as soon as you become an MVP or even active in the community and people start recognising you more, it then obviously helps build you up and go, okay, I trust that person because I saw that person deliver this particular session, or they've been speaking at this user group or whatever else they're doing. And as soon as you start building your network up and other MVPs recognise who you are, it then obviously you form this group or collective of people that you trusted within, and then people then start coming to you. I mean, obviously, I've spoken at conferences, not just in the UK, but over in Amsterdam. And it's nice to obviously build that relationship and friendship with people from outside your normal working life and people you would see on a day-to-day basis. Because the more you're involved in the community, you want to do more, you want to be a part of it more, you want to, really progress. And as I said on that last episode, if your goal is to become an MVP, you're doing it wrong. Your goal is to become active in the community and recognised for the work that you do.
Yeah.
If you then get an MVP award off the back of that, then you've done everything within your power to show that you're committed to the community, that you're committed to driving forward any kind of Microsoft technology that you're working with, and just become an expert in the field.
Yeah, I mean, you don't do community work because you want to be an MVP, because it's a lot of work.
Yes, definitely.
And it should be something that you want to do, and not something that you feel that you have to do just to earn a reward.
100%.
Yeah.
And say once you've built that, that connection with MVPs from around the globe, it's nice. If you ever have an issue where you don't understand it, I mean, I've done it before. I've networked with guys who are experts in Exchange. I'm on a customer side, I'm struggling with a particular issue. I've just dropped a message going, I'm experiencing this. What do you think? And just having that network of people, just it's helpful.
Yeah, and I mean, it's people like to help, so it's really nice. It is really nice. It's so hard to to explain to people that, first of all, aren't like in the IT business, and people that are completely out. It's okay, you like to tweet and blog and talk to people. I'm like, yeah, they're my internet community friends, and it's hard to explain to people that aren't there themselves, but it is like the friends the friends I have that share my interests, instead of just, I don't know, sharing other things that I have with my other friends.
So is your husband involved in the community in any shape or form?
No, I've been really trying. He's working with Dynamics, and I don't think their like community used to be really big. It's the ERP side of it, so they are really square. Sorry for all the ERP listeners, but I said to him, yeah, we should be like a fun MVP couple. There's this Australian couple. I don't know if you know Lorian and Megan.
Megan, yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to convince him that we're going to be like them. And he said, no, I don't want to. I love to share knowledge, but only at work. Okay, fine. Fine by me. We could have a fun thing going on, but no.
So it's not for everyone, because it's a lot of hard work and commitment. So I understand.
Yeah, and I mean, now we're joking about, how are we going to do then when both of us want to go to Ignite? Who will be home with the child? Yeah, will he join us?
The MVP goes, of course, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I think so too. So obviously, but we'll see what he thinks next year when he's working again.
If you submit a session and get picked, that's another reason why you have to go for him.
That's true. Yeah, that's something that I struggle with now that conferences are starting to be.
To be fair, with
live
Ignite,
again.
I think you could take the baby. Like, I don't think anyone would even look twice, and they probably wouldn't go, "Wow, it's a baby, how cute!" And then you'll probably spend half the day talking about the baby more than Microsoft Tech. But I don't see why not. I thought that, to be fair, at the Scottish Summit, a couple brought their baby along with them to Scottish Summit all day. They'd wrapped around them. It was pretty cool.
Very cute. Very, very cute. Yeah, I want to go to so many conferences to talk about. Is it the South Coast Summit?
So South Coast Summit we got going,
yeah.
And also you've got the Nordic Summit coming up soon as well.
That's so I am not coming to South Coast Summit. That would be fun, but I need to prioritize. I can't be way too much. And Nordic Summit is just a couple of days after Teamsdagen, so I'm not sure if I will join, but I think it would be a very great conference. I know a few of the people in the organizing committee, and they have a really nice venue, and I mean they do sessions in English.
Yeah, one of our previous guests, Sarah is helping organizing that as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
It's I guess it's the same Sarah. It's Lagerqvist, right?
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. She's one of one of the people I think I meet her like the most of everybody, because that's why she lives in Stockholm, so we can have lunch very, very easily.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
Sarah's great. Yeah, met her a couple of times in person now, but she's great.
Yeah, she came to our very first Women in Tech panel that we did at South Coast Summit. I know she's speaking again there as well.
That's nice. That's nice with a panel. I love panels. I think that's the best format of a session. Actually, it's fun.
Yeah,
Fun
very
and
fun,
engaging.
I think we need more than an hour though, more than 40 minutes, because last time we was just chatting, and we ran over by quite a bit. I think it was the last session of the day, so it was quite lucky. But yeah, the panels, you could talk for an hour or two on a round table pretty easily.
Yeah, pretty easily, especially when it's like an important topic.
I mean,
Yeah,
I am really looking forward to hosting the panel again, because they've got a completely different lineup of people. Because obviously last year we had Donna, Sarah Fenner, Zoe Wilson, and Sophie Dimolo, obviously now part of this podcast. And it was a good conversation, and we had a few people in the room. But this year I'd like to try and get as many in as possible. And I think because obviously me and John and Sophie doing this podcast, raising awareness is then going to help pull more people in. And one of the things that I'm using at work is a tagline that Sophie kind of come up with. It's BAM, which is obviously bring a male. So I'm going to try and bring as many male colleagues and friends to the panel as possible to help raise awareness, obviously, so they can hear the conversations that are happening. I mean, one of the reasons I've included Pete into the panel as well is because I want people to see that there are male allies out there in the community that are very passionate about women in tech. Because FemK and Pete did a session last week on Twitter Spaces about women in tech, which I was listening to, and they spoke about this podcast. They got your name, John. They couldn't remember mine at all, which is quite funny. But yeah, I mean, I listened to that as well, and the conversations there. So people are having the conversations, and it's becoming more aware. It's just we have to keep doing it until it becomes normal that more women are getting access to roles within IT companies.
Yeah. We need to.
So I'm trying to now look and see what the details of when the session is and stuff. But I think it's 2:00, isn't it?
It's 2:00 in the afternoon, in whatever room it's in, somewhere in. Because basically the venue is quite nice for the South Coast Summit. It's a cricket ground in the south part of England. Last year it was basically split across the whole entire ground. There was a lot of walking backwards and forwards between the actual hotel that sits on the ground and then the clubhouse. But all the sessions now are over at the clubhouse, so less walking. Because everyone walking back to the Hilton will probably stay over there because the bar was there as well.
Of course.
They weren't walking back over, so I think that's one of the reasons why I've kind of changed that around a bit. But no, it's a really good event. I mean, I've been to quite a few in my career. Aaron and is it Nathan who basically do the event, do a very good job of it. And obviously, because it's now the 2nd of September, all sessions have been announced, all speakers have been announced, and tickets are available. So if you want to, come and see South Coast Summit and come see me and John,
We'll see. Maybe I can join. Maybe I can join next year when I have can I put out a session, a conference agenda for the year.
So we are in room 5. Room 5.
But yeah,
room 5, 2:00 on Saturday, the 15th of October. Be in Southampton. And then if you'll listen to me after, I'm having a session at 4:00.
But now it is a good conference. It's a good event. I'll say John's going to be there on the Sunday, on the Saturday evening, trying to win his pub quiz.
Brian,
Zoe,
come on, look, see this. Where are we? This medal here.
I can't see the medals. It's not quite on screen.
See the medal? Yes, you can see it on my thing. You see it. Open it up, maximize it. You see the medal right there. That's the South Coast Summit. Yeah, that one. See, maximize. You can see it? No.
No. You have to move your head, I guess. I don't know.
You put it around your neck, John. That's what it is.
Now you should. Now you have to guess.
We're for every episode. But no, I mean,
there's a
obviously-
the Scottish Summit gold medal here on proudly.
so there's a lot of good conferences in the UK at the moment. Obviously, you've got South Coast Summit. There isn't a Scottish Summit next year, I don't believe. I think they're having a break in there for 1 year. But then obviously there's the Comsverse as well, run by Mark Vale, and the guys there should know.
There might be another one in the works.
Yeah. Zoe's one, which we obviously spoke about previously.
Oh yeah, she spoke about it already. Yeah, another one in the works in the Midlands, not in the Leeds maybe area. So that'd be quite cool.
But no, so I'd like to travel to a few more conferences, abroad. I mean, I did try and submit a session for Copenhagen, but obviously it wasn't accepted, fortunately.
I mean, I tagged along with Carolina, and she's such a celebrity when it comes to speaking. So I thank her for being accepted. But that will be fun to go.
Cool. So back to yourself, Amanda. So we spoke about kind of how you've done what you've done to get to this point and where you are right now. What's the main goal for you in the future? What's the next either working goal, or what's next for you?
The next for me, I think now I want to get stable at work, and I want our team to grow. I want to be more than me and Simon working specifically with Microsoft 365. I mean, there are more people in our group that know things, but I want to expand. So that's what I want to focus on right now. And after Teamsdagen, when we're done, I'm just going to relax, start a blog again. Gosh, I've been a really bad blogger, and I mean, I'm going to work for a lot of more years, and I haven't figured that out yet. What are you going to do when you grow up? I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. I really like what I'm doing now. I just making my customers using Microsoft Teams as something that helps, and not something that's a stupid, annoying tool that you have to use. And for now, that's really good. I mean, like I said in the beginning, titles doesn't feel that important right now, and that feels nice. It feels really nice to don't chase the next title promotions that easily happens, like senior vice super consultants. I don't know. But I mean, I will get there, but not at the moment. Now I just want to enjoy the present. Yeah. Super cheesy, sorry.
100%. Cool. Yeah, just want to say I think we're coming towards the end of our scheduled time. Been a great guest.
Question for the end to finish it.
Oh, we got one big question from Andrew.
Yeah, oh, let's go for it. So, as a big idea, and obviously yourself being a working mother that's returned to work from maternity leave, what do you believe needs to happen to enable more women who are, coming back from maternity leave to return into the workplace in IT?
I think that besides having a co-parent that is equally engaged, and it seems like that's not the case all the time, which is super sad. So equally engaged, and just believes that both works are equally important, but it's also really important with flexibility from your employee. I think that just understand that working 8 to 5 or 9 to 5, that's probably not how it will be with children. You need some flexibility to maybe work sometimes at the evenings, and just understand that work is important, but there's something else that is also very important. And then it's so hard for me to say that is from Sweden and I can be home and we have easily like VAB. That means I can be home if my kid is sick and it doesn't affect me. So I have a nice system to rely on, and that's not what everybody has, but from the employee flexibility and the partner that's there.
Definitely. And so I think a lot more employers are obviously looking at that flexibility, hybrid working, because obviously every employer out there, you know, the buzzword is, you know, diversity, inclusion, you know, getting more women into tech. So in order for that to happen, you know, you have to have the processes there in place to ensure that you know, women that basically do go on maternity leave are, you know, supported in coming back to work. Otherwise, you know, there's no point in having this charter saying we want more women to come work for us, but then as soon as that woman, you know, goes and has a child and comes back from maternity leave and there's no support for her, then she's going to leave, and then you kind of, you know, put yourself at a disadvantage and have to do the whole process over again. I think that's where, you know, a lot of companies have gone wrong for so many years, is not having the correct support for enabling working mothers to come back into the workplace in a flexible role that, you know, works around childcare, because, you know, childcare is very expensive no matter what country you're in. So
and I mean, I think it's pretty common for female not to come back to like high achieving jobs after children, which is really sad. It's really sad that you can't do both. I mean, I want to work and I want to cuddle with my child. I don't want to do this or that. I want to combine them.
Awesome. So Amanda, thank you very much for, you know, sharing your story with us today. You know, it's always good to obviously speak to working mothers and obviously have their opinion and insight into, you know, their careers as well, because, you know, it's massively important for all of our listeners to understand, you know, if they then obviously decide to, you know, start a family, how is it going to, you know, impact their career and what they can do to, you know, get back to, you know, working life.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It was really nice to have this little chat.
No problem. Right, so I'll wrap it up there. So thank you very much for listening, everyone. And John, I will see you on the next episode.
See you next time.
Thank you for listening to the Microsoft Spotlight podcast. Please make sure you hit that like, share and subscribe button to help us promote our message. You can also follow us on Twitter at MSFT Spotlight, and we're also on LinkedIn, the Microsoft Spotlight podcast. And finally, we'd like to tell you a little bit about BitTitan and thank them for sponsoring this podcast.
Remote migrations start here. Let MigrationWiz do the work for you. It's fast, secure, and 100% SaaS, which means you can migrate at any time and from anywhere. Migrate mailboxes, documents, public folders, personal archives, or even Microsoft Teams with just a few clicks. No special training needed and no customer downtime. When the work matters, choose MigrationWiz.